Hi, this is Herb Strather on Herb Strather Talk Radio Show. This is our afterthoughts, and this is particularly directed to Strather Academy students and the Mastermind Group. I wanted to share with you our thoughts. We've just finished interviewing for the second time Willie Donwell, and we also had on our show Councilman Scott Benson. Scott, I have relationships with both of these gentlemen. Scott Benson was a former Strather Academy student, as a matter of fact, and he bought an apartment building, and he graduated from the class and did an excellent job. This was well before he became a council person. 2 or 3, 4 years later, he decided to run for council, which was really good, and we fully support him. And I want you all to support him because his heart and mission is in the right place. Likewise, Willie Donwell is just a gem of a gentleman. I had indicated earlier that he's in my Optimist Club. He's a good friend. We've become friends through our civic engagement. And through a Christmas program, he donated quite a bit of money to help the kids, and he didn't say one word about it. But you saw maybe how the program had wrapped up. And I got to tell you, I became emotional in real life because he brought tears to my eyes. Here's a person that says not one word and don't tell anybody hardly anything at all. And he is so engaged in helping people lose their homes. He was telling me about a young lady on Tuller and Davison in a wheelchair with Alzheimer's, and, you know, he just helps her fill out her application, and he helps her each year. They go to her house, you know. And one of the touching things about it is that he actually takes money from his paycheck, and he writes checks out to help some of the homeowners, especially if they're losing their home for $200, $300. He said, Herb, some of them have lost their home. He told us the one case was a $90 deal that fell through. Well, there are thousands, and there's still going to be some that fall through, but I'm just particularly touched by what he's doing, and I got an idea that I like for us to do, and I'm going to bring it back to you. So I give you a little hint, so I want you to keep watching, because I'm thinking that we're going to make some checks out. So I don't care if it's $50 or $100 to the city of Detroit or Wayne County. We're going to leave them blank, and we're going to give it to them and tell them to use those to help some of these programs that he is putting his money up, that he won't tell anybody. And I'm going to bless you for it, and I'm going to give you a credit for you. But before we go there, let me give you another blessing and tell you about some of the things that he have done. And obviously, he's a friend of mine, and I would think that he would do whatever he can with cohorts that are working in and moving in the same direction. So some of these special circumstances you have and you know about, let's read between the lines, if you know what I mean, and you can call me. You know, you say, Herb, I sent you a check over there. I got to talk to you. Even if you didn't send a check and you're greatly involved, but you could always send a check. We all could send a check. You understand? Because we didn't say how much. We all got it, blessed all of us with something. So let's get into what some of the key things that I thought that he said that is really key, especially to my DAR members. DAR, this is critical. This is very important. Now, let's understand that there is taxable value, uncapped value, and assessed value. Uncapped value and assessed value is pretty much the same thing. Whatever the assessed value is, you may not be paying that much. Remember, the assessed value is half of whatever the market value is. So if something is valued at $200,000, the market value, then the assessed value theoretically is $100,000. But you may have a taxable value at $60,000. That means that there's $40,000 in there that once you sell the property, it uncaps and goes to the assessed value. It's 60 grand now, it uncaps and goes to the assessed value. I asked him, I said, Willie, how about the property sold for $300,000? Because some of us may be reluctant to structure transactions for higher value and take credits back to shore up the value in our community, if you understand what I just said. I was reluctant because I don't want to shore up a value and then get zapped with that value. But I now have assurances, and this is good news, that if I did that, it's not going to suddenly jump. It will, if I'm successful in increasing the value of all the houses in the community, then my house increased too. And when I sell, it will be at a higher tax value, but not while I'm holding it. That's the good news. You're not going to suffer as a result of it, and the increased price itself would justify You can sell it higher. The city's going to get more revenue. And don't get me wrong. In reality, the assessment really shouldn't be 50%. It should be a little bit less because don't forget, house values are moving up. The city has been kind of lowering the values in the last years because once the depression came, the house values sunk so low, it wasn't a true reflection. The assessed values in many cases is the same amount as the market value, or the assessed values in many cases are more than the market value. Hell, you can have something assessed at $15,000 that turn around and sell for $10,000. It got just that bad. So in all this noise and confusion about assessed value, uncapped value, taxable value, market value, I know it's a lot of words going back and forth. So here, to make it simple, we advocate that you should build in the repair costs in the purchase. People are concerned about that. They say, well, if I do that, Herb, I'm going to impact the value of the property for taxes. Now, you can't have it both ways, but now I guess you can. You can build in those values without getting zapped. They're not going to zap you. You understand? So you can build in those values because what we want to do is push the comps up, get out of the dirt, push our values up. Some people say, Herb, these properties values are so low, let's just leave them because you could buy them low and rent it high and get a 50% cash flow. That's true. You could get one gigantic percentage cash flow. Whereas historically, you haven't even been able to break even. If you take a house and buy it at market value, put a normal mortgage on it, and rent it for the normal rental value, you have not been able to break even. You have a negative cash flow historically. Just remember, back 10 years ago, a house, $100,000, the mortgage payment at a 8% interest rate or 7.5% was around $900 to $1,000, taxes, insurance, $1,150, $1,200 payment. You wasn't renting the house for $1,200. You was renting the house for $875. So you had a $300 negative cash flow. Today, that's not true. That same house is $50,000 on a good day, and the interest rate is 4.25% or 6% debt constant. So if it's a 6% debt constant and sell for $40,000, that's $200 payment. There's a hell of a lot of difference between a $200 payment and a $900 payment. Plus the taxes have been pushed down, so you end up with $450. You rent it for $850. You make $400 cash flow. And there's buoyancy in the marketplace. You could simply increase the price, let the seller include the seller repairs. If there's a little cash left over in your left pocket, you understand what I mean? Because you can do the repairs yourself. What I'm trying to tell you right now, you have enough buoyancy in the marketplace to increase the price, take cash out, improve the community, and your taxes are not going to jump. That's a long ways around to tell you that, but do it. And if you have any question about it, go to Strather Academy. Come Saturday, the month of May is going to be full of seminars. Come to our fundamentals. And we have fun, and we do it, and we show you how to take the equity out. Detroiters, the good news that I'm very happy about is Scott tells us that the majority of buyers in the land bank is a male 35 years old buying real estate. And the ladies, I'm sure they're getting in it too, because the ladies, there's nothing prohibiting you from buying real estate. You got Detroit DNA. So this is very, very good news. Now, and also he talked about this NEZ rehab. If you're converting to condos, you could freeze the assessment. So all of these, so whatever you bought, if you bought a warehouse, you can freeze the assessment, do your conversion, and the property will not, taxes will not jump for 15 years. You can lock taxes in for 15 years. Even if you sell the property, it's locked in. Some of you have all of these co-ops. You want to convert them to condos. Let's have a discussion on that. Because co-op, you can't get your price out. If you unlock your co-op, it'll jump 35, 40, 50%. And people individually can, some of you can get reverse mortgages. Some of you can pull cash out tax-free. And we're here to help at Strather. 313-444-9691. And this is the mastermind group, Afterthoughts. These are for those who've said, Herb, I want to understand, and I want to give you value. I hope you like this value and understand what's going on. And then finally, the homeowners that qualify, let's go back into that subject matter. And this is when he says that he helped homeowners. So this is what I'd like you to do. I would like for you just to forward a check to Academy, 15400 Grand River, second floor, Strather Academy, and make the check out the city of Detroit. I don't care if it's not but $25, $50. I would like to say, Willie, here's some checks. Some of these homeowners that are 85 years old cannot, that although we've taken them off the tax roll, we can't go all the way back yet and get them off, and they're struggling. They're struggling. They got kids with Alzheimer's or not Alzheimer's, but dementia. Not dementia. You know, the kids. Autistic, you know what I mean, or issues. And we can help them as a community. It's not going to hurt us. I tell you what you do. Anything you do, I will match. As a matter of fact, you can take 50% of it off any tuitions or any mastermind. In other words, instead of you paying your $45 a month, say, Herb, here's $45 and skip a month. Is that fair? That's pretty fair, isn't it? Is that a match, or is that me paying for it? Just help out a little bit. Let's make it a 50-50 match. If you paid $45, then you'll just have to pay $22.50 for each month. But that would be, you would get a whole month in that case, and that's fine. I'm a philanthropist. I want to help. I am not just here to make a tuition or to make money on giving you advice. I'm here for a greater purpose, and you are too, for us to save our community. So Strather Academy, Mastermind Group, let's put our minds together, let's put our hearts together, and let's make Detroit a different place. This is Herb Strather, your coach. I'll see you next week.